Hey, Daan here, and in this video I am going to show you exactly how we turn leads into cash for the accounting firms that we work with. So in this video I'm going to share my screen. I will show you exactly what our nurturing process is if we generate leads for accounting firms. And I was thinking about recording this video, and it kind of came to my mind that I think that the IRS will hate that I'm recording this video, because if you implement this strategy and you just simply copy and paste my nurturing process, you will get more clients, guaranteed. Which will mean that you will help more people save on their tax bill, and which will mean directly that the IRS will get less money. So they will hate that I'm recording this video, but I rather want to get you more clients than help the IRS steal more money from the people. So let's dive right into the video and I will show you exactly what our nurturing system looks like. So we are in my high-level account right now. I recorded a video earlier about the CRMs that I recommend accountants to use if they want to do marketing. So before I dive into all the details, I will quickly introduce myself so that you actually know that the advice that I'm going to give to you is actually advice you can trust. So I am the owner of Accounting Kings. My name is Daan, and we focus on working with accountants to help them actually get more business owner clients. Clients that they can actually provide more value to, and also just make more money with them. And last month we spent about $50,000 on ads for accountants. And I'm basically trying to give as much value away so that you can make more money and, of course, full transparency, potentially work with me in the future. So yeah, let's make myself a bit smaller over here and dive right in. So this is the whole workflow we have if someone submits a form. So if we are running ads for accounting firms or bookkeeping firms and tax pros, if someone submits the form, they land in this sequence over here. And I will zoom out a little bit. You can see that this is not some sequence that someone will get a message for you for like a couple of days in a row. No, we are going to follow up on those leads quite literally for months, and not in a spammy way. I hate those things where it comes across as very spammy. This is simply going to nurture leads that submit forms in a way where you show that you are proactive, but also that you just genuinely want to help them. So, a couple of things. Someone submits a form and the team gets a notification. This is really important, an SMS message and notification in the app that we have. So this essentially means that if someone submits the form, we directly want to approach them. So we directly want to actually call the lead. So let's say that you work with dentists. You are trying to get dentist leads, and someone submits the form. You of course don't want to wait to approach them. Maybe they have like a patient waiting and they need to get back to work. So you want to nurture them as soon as possible. So what you want to do, if you are the only person in your accounting firm, you want to send those messages to yourself. But if you have like an assistant or someone in the front desk, send those messages to them so that they can directly call. And in the ideal situation, you want to call the leads within seconds, because this will of course increase the likelihood of them booking an appointment, because they are currently working on finding an accountant, and if they directly get a call from an accountant, guess what will happen? They book a meeting. So if you want to go to the next step with this, which is something that we are currently doing, you want to have AI to call them if they submit a form, and then it literally takes seconds before they get a call, even if they submit the form at 3 a.m. on a Sunday, which is pretty cool. So yeah, that's kind of the first thing. If you are nurturing leads, call them directly. So you want to send the notifications to your staff or to yourself. Then over here, we wait for a couple of minutes with sending an SMS and also an email. And the reason why we wait for a few minutes is because sometimes it takes a few minutes for them to book the appointment. So if someone submits the form, they go to the calendar page, which is basically like a Calendly integrated calendar or another software that you can use. And they can schedule a meeting online, but maybe they need to take a look at their calendar, discuss things with their business partners. So we don't send that message out directly, because the last thing we want to happen is where someone fills in a form, they book that meeting, and then they get a message from us, hey, you still need to book the appointment, which is going to cause some confusion. Trust me, I tried everything and it happened before. So we wait for a few minutes, and then we just send them the first SMS message. So this is basically, hey John, this is Daan with Accounting Kings. I saw you requested a free phone call to ask all your accounting related questions. Can you tell me what your question is about and when I can call you best? This is a very Like, I'm a fan of basing your messaging around psychology. With this message, what you do over here, first of all, it shows proactiveness because you get back to them in 5 minutes, but it also reminds them, oh, right, this is an accountant. You show to them, hey, I want to help you. And you remind them this is also accounting related. Plus, you also directly ask them when I can call you best. So you're not going to ask them, do you want me to give a call? But when can I give you a call? And the reason why we don't ask, do they want to schedule a call, is because we know they have interest. But it's also because then we need to send a second message to actually ask when they want to schedule that meeting. This is kind of, I always give the example, let's say that you have a training partner in a gym and you want to train your chest and you know that your training partner maybe wants to train legs. Then don't ask, do you want to train chest or legs, but do you want to train bench press or dumbbell press? So you're not going to ask which muscle group do you want to train, but what exercise for the muscle group. And over here, we don't ask, do you want to get a phone call, but we ask, when do you want to get a phone call? It's just a little trick. And it will also speed up the whole sales process. So yeah, this will directly give them the option to actually give a couple of times. And in the ideal situation, they will say, okay, well, you can give me a call today at 3 p.m. And in the ideal situation, they will give you a couple of times, you call them the same day. And maybe if you don't have time that day, you can just call them a little later. So the email subject, we always use message for, and then the lead name over here. It creates a lot of curiosity. It's a bit fake, but you want to have it little bit fake so that they actually click on it and then read the message. If there's no curiosity, they don't click on it. So they say, hey, John, this is Daan with Accounting Kings. I saw you requested a free phone call to ask all your accounting related questions. It's kind of the same as the SMS. And then, yeah, it's just in email format. I recorded a video also, which is actually the video that went live before this video regarding omnipresence, where I explained that it's so important that you use SMS, email, phone calls. And in the ideal situation, it's not in this workflow, but we do implement this. You also want to add them on Facebook and LinkedIn, on X, and every single other platform to send them a similar message like this. So in the beginning, when you generate a lead, you see that we waited for 5 minutes. They get the first couple of messages, and then we wait for 6 hours to send them the next one. And the reason why we want to reach out to them on the same day, ideally, twice, is because right now the lead is really warm, okay? They filled in the form because they have interest in the services that you are providing. And you really want to strike the iron when it's hot. You don't want to wait for a few days to then see if they are still interested, because maybe they lost interest, maybe something else happened in their life, and then finding an accountant is not a priority anymore. Or maybe even worse, your competitor also got the lead. Or even worse, your competitor stole the lead from you because they actually were the people that were proactively approaching them. So you want to then reach out to them on the same day, a couple hours later. You will say, hey, I'll be happy to help, John. Just let me know what your questions are about and when I can call you best. So the reason I want to show you a couple of messages is because this message over here, if you structure your messaging in a way where you just genuinely want to help them, it doesn't come across as spammy. Like if you walk across the street and you have a little chat with someone you don't know and you talk about business and they never did tax planning, for example, and you directly already know that you can save them $1 million on their tax bill because they are going to sell their company, but they are not really convinced. Of course, you want to be very proactive because you know, well, I can provide so much value to you, and which will they appreciate. And you want to take the same approach over here. You really want to be proactive and you really want to communicate to them that you want to help them. Because as we all know, as an accountant, a lot of the times business owners don't actually know the value that you can provide. And yeah, by just reaching out to them and starting the conversation, you get the chance to actually communicate the value. So then the next day, we send them another SMS, another email. We wait for another day. And we send them kind of the same structure of emails, right? We just approach them in a way, hey, is this John? You requested a free accounting related phone consultation and you didn't get a chance to talk with us yet. Look forward to hearing from you. So it's not spammy or anything. You just really want to genuinely help them, right? So then we just wait for a little longer. So in the beginning, we always go a little harder with the outreach because, as I said earlier, you really want to strike the iron when it's hot. So you really want to be more in their face and more proactive in the beginning because then it's fresh on their mind, fresh on their memory, and finding an account is a higher priority for them. then later on, you do not want to reach out to them every single day for a year. Like that will become spammy, of course. So in the beginning, the first few days, you want to reach out to them at least once per day in the first few days, preferably twice per day on different platforms. But at some point, you need to kind of turn the volume down a little bit. So then you reach out to them after 2 days, after a couple more days, but you never really entirely want to stop with the outreach. So at some point, you send them another message 5 days later, then 6 days later, then 7 days later, then 8, right? So you still want to be on top of their mind. Let's say we actually have this right now. Last week, we generated a lead for a client of ours, an accounting firm, and they are looking for a CFO. And the lead that we actually generated was not the decision maker. It was someone in the company that needs to gather some information from potential CFOs. And this whole sales process with finding a fractional CFO just takes a little longer. And if you are only going to reach out to them for the first 2 weeks, then you probably miss out on a very potential big deal, because of course the bigger deals typically take a little longer, right, before the actual deal is closed. So you never entirely want to stop the outreach. So like once per week, and at some point once every 2 weeks, you still want to send them an SMS message or an email, just so that you are still on top of their mind. And let's say that someone filled in a form, something changed in their business, a different priority, a problem occurred, or they went on vacation, and then a few weeks later, they actually then still get your SMS message. They say, oh, actually, yeah, I was looking for an accountant. I actually need to pick this up. Let me talk to this accountant. So it also just becomes way easier for them to then reach out to you. Instead of looking for someone else, they already know, well, you know what, this accountant has been sending me messages every single week almost. I know for sure I don't have to do some research now. I just reply to the next message I get from this person. So you always want to kind of keep on top of their mind. At some point, just reach out to them once per month. And the best thing that you can actually do, which I also said in the other video, also add them on all your social media and start posting content so that forever you will be on their timeline. And this kind of is the structure that we have with our lead nurturing. I will just actually show you another message. So at some point, you don't really want to talk about, hey, you submitted a form, because nobody is going to remember that they submitted the form 4 or 5 weeks ago. At some point, you want to switch to kind of giving the same offer. So you want to say, hey, I'm giving away 10 free advice phone calls to ask all your accounting questions. If you have any questions regarding tax, business, or accounting, then now is your chance. Do you have any, right? So you switch from, hey, you filled in the form to schedule your free consultation, to, hey, we are giving away 10 new free consultations. By structuring it this way, of course, they are going to forget they actually submitted the form, but you still give them the chance to talk with you. Now, another thing, you say we give away 10 free consultations, not limited, so there is some scarcity, which makes it more urgent for them to actually schedule the appointment. So this is the way that we structure our whole nurturing system. So I will quickly summarize so that you can implement this for your own company. Number 1, call them as soon as possible. This is just key. Then start with reaching out to them a couple times per day for the first few days. Just keep reminding them, hey, you submitted the form, this was important to you. And then at some point later on, after a few weeks, you just switch to, instead of, hey, you submitted the form, to, hey, we have this free consultation so that you can ask all your accounting related questions. So I really hope that this provided some value to you. Just directly implement this into the marketing campaign. This can be done with the online marketing campaigns, but if you generate an interested lead from your cold outreach, then you can implement the same system. I use the software Go High Level, but there are also tons of other software that you can actually implement. So if you are an accountant, by the way, and you want to get more clients, typically higher revenue business clients that bring in more money and that you probably also enjoy working with more, then there are 2 links in the description. The first one, you can click on it to schedule a free strategy session where I or someone from my team will just quickly explain exactly what you can improve with the marketing and sales process for your accounting firm. And then the second link is a free Facebook group that you can join to network with other accountants that are also willing to grow their firm and just make some connections and learn with others. So again, really appreciate that you watch this video to the end. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like it so that I can create more content like this. Subscribe to not miss any other videos. And if you have specific questions, just leave them in the comments and I will answer them for you. Thanks.